Hello there!
Hi, I'm Khan, SKP from the Mirror Universe.
I'm Veronica, and I have very conflicting feelings about the Rey and Shiv Palpatine ships.
Sure.
I just discovered recently, and I don't know how to feel about it.
Okay. And I'm Adrian, that of the Geeks, and you guys are watching or listening to
Nerd Rage!
And we're back, as what some TV actors like to say after a commercial break. But we had a break that lasted for... How long were we gone?
How a few months, maybe.
A few months, because our last episode was with...
Rock of Manila.
No.
No, we were gone in Rock of Manila. We're free now.
Yeah, our last podcast was with Gerald Tarog, director of Quezon and the Universe series, and that came in November.
And then there was also when you talked to Jamie Wilson too.
Yeah, and that was before. So that was the very first podcast version of Nerd Rage. So yeah, November, December, January, February.
You're back for a fiscal quarter.
Oh nga, no? Which reminds me, malapit na yung tax. It's tax season! Oh, God.
In case you're just listening to this, Adrian has just hit the table with his head. Visualize that, and anyway.
Yeah. Taxes. Taxes. Tapos, di ba imagine that na we pay all that shit, tapos makikita lang natin, flood control.
The world has changed significantly since Nerd Rage was on air. There's no end to the corruption, the flood control corruption scandal, and as of recording, America threatened the Vatican.
Also, not a Watchmen reference, but didn't they move the Doomsday Clock closer to midnight again?
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Did they move it twice?
Yeah, closer than even when you're in the middle of a nuclear threat.
Like a minute before?
Thereabouts, yeah. That's crazy.
For 45 minutes away, for 45 seconds away from Doomsday.
Things I did not expect to see in my lifetime.
Can you imagine the other night when that deadline was looming? What was Trump's deadline again?
So, or he was gonna 48 hours, or else he was gonna wipe out an entire civilization from the face of the earth. As an American, I did not vote for this.
And as a Filipino, ano kinalaman namin dito, di ba? Pero wala, gas prices are up and all that, and life's been really hard for all of us, even for commuters. Kasi when gas prices are up, the jeepney and the taxi rates go up as well, everything goes up, the goods go up, egg prices are up, everything's going up.
We're probably gonna have a food shortage soon. There was that announcement where a lot of the farmers would rather just watch their stuff spoil than, deliver their produce at a loss because transport is so expensive now.
And so imagine that between our domestic problems and the threat of nuclear annihilation. Parang like the other night, like I was gonna say earlier, the other night when, as of this recording, this was 2 days after Trump's annihilation deadline, and I fell asleep with my kids, partly expecting and there'll be this bright flash of light and nothing.
Given that context, it's very hard to be a geek nowadays, but that's for a future episode.
For another episode. That's for next
week's episode. Yeah.
I will say this, as someone who lives in front of Manila Bay and has seen the reclamation of the Manila Bay ongoing for the last 5 years, I'm very much used to going to sleep hearing strange noises in the night, big booming sounds. Not gonna lie, there have been times I've woken up and thought, oh my God, is this China?
On the flip side, since you live near the bay, you don't have to worry that much about the earthquake, but that's another story for another time. How far in Manila do you have to be to not really worry about the quake? Like Caloocan?
No.
Cavite?
No, because I remember the July 16, 1990 earthquake happened in Cabanatuan.
Yes.
And we felt it all the way to Batangas.
Feeling, yes, but the
damage?
The danger zone is at least 10 kilometers. So I guess you're not 5 to 10, right?
Yeah.
You're not out of the red, but you're less likely to wake up in the middle of day after tomorrow.
Well, we can just stop bitching and talk about what's been, some of the interesting stuff that's been happening. Oh, Artemis 2. Have you guys been following the stuff involving Artemis 2 and the Integrity mission?
I've just been enjoying things that are actually optimistic instead of, I find it funny how some people are taking the wrong message away from it. Like, can we just enjoy people actually doing things?
Achieving something.
Achieving something.
As an investment for our future generations.
Yeah.
In case we have geek friends watching or listening to this and you've been living under a rock, I think it was April 1 when the Artemis 2 mission launched from Cape Canaveral. And the point of Artemis 2 was to circle around the moon.
Yeah.
Or to send people to circle around the moon, the farthest we've ever gone.
Exactly. I've seen people complain, they're like, what's the point if they're not even going to set foot on the moon? The point is, this is the furthest humanity has been out there.
Right. Like where no man has gone before.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a massive step.
Yeah. And then other people have been asking, parang, we've already sent people around the moon and we've put people on the moon, so why are we doing the same thing again? And that's because we're using new technology now.
Like, for one thing, the photos have been great. Have you guys seen the photos of the moon?
Oh, yeah.
And the Earth from that side?
Yeah. Shout out to Nikon D5. And shout out to Nikon. Shout out to Nikon. Here we go with the shout outs again.
As a Nikon haver, this pleases me.
Ang ganda, no? Parang they use the Nikon D5 to take photos of the Earth, Earthrise, Earth
Yeah,
set.
I believe they use like iPhone and Nikons.
iPhone and Nikons, diba? Ganda. But
I can't wait to rub this in the face of my Sony user friends.
like me.
Oh,
Is this what kind of?
this is a Sony, isn't it?
Yeah, we're shooting in 2 Sonys. So is this all it's gonna boil down to, like the farthest humans have ever gone into space, and it's all gonna boil down into a pissing contest over who's got the better tech?
I guess it's always been like that.
It's true.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, diba? Parang the China sends a satellite around the moon, US sends people around the moon, and maybe Russia will, I don't know, put people on the moon.
Although this makes me do wonder, what were the qualifications for picking Nikon cameras? Was it simply because the tech was better or because they were more usable? Because that is a thing. Your gear can be better, but if it's prone to like failure rate or stuff like that or ease of use, that'd be a reason to not bring it out into the field.
I was reading an article about that this morning. Just having, supposedly parang having less megapixels actually worked in their favor when shooting dark environments.
Fair.
So parang for that, I totally understand it. But interesting kasi it's 10-year-old technology. And then again, this camera right here, the Sony FX3 is 5-year-old technology. Which reminds me, I need to update the firmware for this camera.
To be fair, newest isn't always best. Best is, subjective to the context.
Yeah. Hooray to Nikon and the iPhone and Nutella.
Yes, bless Nutella. The random Nutella jar just floating across. Best brand representation.
Although NASA denied having any product placements, right?
Probably just like smuggled in a board. Like, if I was to be stuck on a long flight, sure, a jar of like something na pwede kong pop up would be great.
Yeah, no, actually, what people contest was, why wasn't it empty?
Maybe it was the spare.
Because if you run out of Nutellas, you might end up killing each other.
It's true, right? Why would you bring just one jar? How long are you going to be up there?
So, okay then, yeah. I guess if you want to be reminded of home, diba?
But isn't that like one of those things, like when they go to space, like every single thing that goes up there has to be accounted for the weight management and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't like bringing a jar of Nutella, just be as considered to be a little frivolous at that point?
Well, I'm sure they computed for that,
250 grams.
Yep. Because, people are people, and some people unfortunately insist that everything has to be logical, everything has to be reduced to numbers. But in the end, morale is a thing. Human behavior is a thing. The human spirit is a thing. Sometimes you just gotta pick up shit because it makes you feel good.
Plus, imagine being stuck with 3 other people in a space smaller than the studio. And the studio is like 25 square meters.
Yeah.
Or maybe the lunar module is actually around the same size as this one.
We've been back here half a day. We've already had 4 different snacks, guys.
Yeah.
Well, I do admit, other than that, what I've been enjoying is, getting updated with WWE stuff.
Yes.
Oh, man. I know.
This is where I feel bad because I totally missed out on the whole Artemis thing. And have just instead been focusing on pro wrestling, specifically WWE, because even though TKO has very questionable business practices and politics. WWE is still my happy place. God damn it. I'm very excited.
What's up with WWE? Oh wait, malapit na ang
WrestleMania is gonna be
WrestleMania.
this weekend.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes it's damn the numbers. Go with what makes you happy.
Exactly. And going into this, WrestleMania has been quite a challenge for both wrestlers and the fans as well. WWE has been famously increasing their ticket prices over the course of the last year. And ever since CM Punk bitched about it in his pipe bomb earlier this week as of recording, WWE is now set on supposedly lowering ticket prices. Now, some say that this is something that they've been planning to do for a while, and Punk was kind of let in on it, so it was incorporated into the pipe bomb. Others are saying that it echoes a lot of the frustrations and sentiments of wrestlers behind the scenes. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle.
So you agree with not exactly a conspiracy theory among fans, but you think it was WWE sticking it to TKO?
Yes, a little bit. There's digs in there. There's definite digs in there. And and again, it's one of those things where you see a lot of, I'm sorry, this is where I'm going to rant now. I'm so sorry, you guys. And this is like one of those things where a lot of people have been clamoring for the return of Vince McMahon, especially in light of how WWE's fumbled some of the bookings, like the John Cena heel turn. Oh yeah, so a lot of people are going to say that this is where they kind of miss having Vince McMahon around, because at the very least, he kept ticket prices low and made it affordable for families. At the same time, the quality of the content suffered. So my only takeaway from this is, thank God I'm watching everything on Netflix here in the Philippines instead of having to pay exorbitant amounts as a fan in the United States.
I guess one of the reasons why Vince could keep ticket prices low was he paying anyone?
Oh God, we're gonna go to hell for that.
Already booked my tickets there anyway.
I mean, it's just one of those things, because I guess we've never really had a chance to properly deep dive and dig into WB on this show. And we have other important things to talk about, so I promise this won't be long. But, it's just one of those things. When the news came out about Vince McMahon, I really wasn't surprised.
Yeah.
Especially when you hear about him behind the scenes and the character he portrayed on screen for all those years. I can understand why he feels like he has a hold on WWE, because if you follow the product from the early 70s, he's been the one consistent fixture on it. But WWE's better without him. I actually like how the card is shaping up. The only thing wrong with WWE is that TKO is fucking greedy. And also, fuck The Undertaker for supporting Donald Trump. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. But are you guys looking forward to WrestleMania?
I am. Again, great na it's on Netflix. Although I'll probably watch it like a few hours after. Unless, I see some clips that get uploaded, and it will force me to kick my kid out of the sofa so that I could watch.
I'll probably watch it like when I wake up the next morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What time is WrestleMania?
I think WrestleMania is going to start at 7 a.m. for us.
7 a.m. What date again?
That's going to be April 19, Sunday morning, and night 2 is going to be April 20.
Monday.
On Monday.
Ba't nga ba hindi tayo nagpa-screening?
Mahal?
No, we don't have time. Yeah,
We're tired.
That's true. Life has happened to us the past few months. But we promise you guys, those who are watching and listening, that we'll be active again. Plus, the summer blockbuster season's happening, and we'll have more screenings coming very soon.
Supergirl.
Oh yeah, Supergirl. Maybe Mandalorian.
Mando and Grogu. That's next month already.
Yeah, I know. Shoot. So I have to make bookings already. So Mando and Grogu. Mortal Kombat is happening early May. No? Spider-Man. Oh man, damn it.
I think let's pick. We don't have to do all of it.
Yeah, we've learned our lessons.
Or you guys can let us know which ones do you think we should do?
Yeah, like we did a bunch of stuff last year. So how would you like to hang out with the Nerd Rage crew? Comment below and subscribe.
But all right, so Oh, one other thing that I really want to discuss with you guys was, okay, so background to our listeners and our viewers. Disney was nice enough to send us screeners of Mall Shadow Lord episodes 1 to 8. So it's not the entire season. It's just the first 8 episodes. And those episodes come out, I think there are 2 episodes that come out every week. And by the week of, or actually by May the 4th, that will be a 2-episode finale. So all in all, that's gonna be 10 episodes.
Yeah, don't look at me though, guys. Like Adrian fell asleep when he was supposed to send me the access code.
Sorry.
I got the access code when he was done watching.
Anyway,
So yeah, but at least, you know, parang
I watched the first 2 episodes like the rest of the normies.
But the thing is, we're not even allowed to spoil yet.
What can we talk about?
We can talk about our general impressions of Mall Shadow Lord
Okay.
on Disney Plus right now. Mall Shadow Lord is basically set 1 year after Revenge of the Sith. And Maul is rebuilding his crime empire. Well, not just Revenge of the Sith pala. 1 year after the end of the Clone Wars TV series, which is also the start of Revenge of the Sith. So he's rebuilding his criminal empire, and he's trying to consolidate. Very Christopher Nolan, actually.
Okay, you know, I just have to say, the moment at the very end of the series when he had the Force flashback was incredible. I didn't know he was there for Luke and Leia's conception.
What have you been watching?
Maul, Shadow Lord.
You might have downloaded the wrong episode.
Oh, that might be a different kind of Shadow Lord.
A different kind of Shadow Lord.
I didn't know they got Axel Braun to do an episode.
Real thoughts.
The real thoughts. not your intrusive thoughts on Mom.
Not my intrusive thoughts.
So you
on
first
Maul.
before I give my own. And I know you have a certain opinion on Mom.
You know, there's just this moment when he just like whips it out and it turns out to be this double. Okay, my actual real thoughts on Maul is that I freaking loved it. I was actually really bummed out that we didn't get any more, that all we had were those first 8 episodes. I love the characters. I love the pacing. One of my favorite moments is probably in episode 3. I won't say what it is, but Darth Maul's daddy energy really comes through in a very, very big way, and I'm here for it.
I loved it so much. It felt very Andor. It felt very dark, very serious. Reminded me of Blade Runner and Michael Mann Heat. Actually, Heat. And Christopher Nolan, Michael Mann, that kind of narrative. Ridley Scott, kind of dark.
There's a lot of death in the first episode.
Oh, a lot.
There's a lot of death in that first episode.
And that's when I realized, parang, all right, I cannot watch this with my kids. It's not for kids, guys. So please do not make the mistake of watching Maul Shadow Lord with your kids, because your kids are either gonna have a lot of ideas, hopefully not, or they'll have a lot of questions that you might not be prepared to answer.
Unless you're prepared to have those conversations. What case, watch it with your kids.
Well,
Would you say it's PG-13?
yeah, it's closer to PG-13 than PG. All those deaths, all the complicated nuances of running a criminal empire are actually consolidating.
Kailangan ng gabay at patnubay ng magulang.
Ding 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 ding. The tune of which was composed by Francis Reyes of the Dawn. All right. How about you? First thoughts on Maul Shadow Lord?
So yeah, I've only managed to see the first 2 episodes because that's what's out on Disney Plus. And honestly, I love the visuals. I love most everything production-wise. But from a TV series standpoint, from a narrative standpoint, there has been no real hook for me. There's nothing new going on here. And it's not giving me... there's no story that I'm looking forward to. I'm like, I really don't give a shit about this Jedi apprentice that he's picked up. Because there's nothing in the first 2 episodes that implies that anything is going on here. Like, it's the same old plot, like, oh, Sith Lord has found a Jedi that he wants to turn against his master. again, right? And then someone trying to establish his presence as a crime lord. Like, we already had the perfect opportunity for Scarface in space. That was called Book of Boba Fett, and they flubbed it.
Oh, trust me. For this show, they go close to Scarface.
Yeah.
In the episodes.
One of the things I love most about the Star Wars galaxy is the more seedier underbelly sides of it.
I've always preferred the seedy underbelly side of Star Wars. I actually think the Jedi part is the most overtold and boring part at this point. As a kid, obviously I enjoyed it. But now I'm like, we've had so many Jedi stories. I want to see the rest of the galaxy. I'd rather see the bounty hunters, the smugglers, everything else.
And I think this is where the Maul Shadow Lord is a lot of fun. Because the seedier aspects of the Star Wars galaxy is really put front and center here. Because we're also seeing Maul at the beginning, at the start of his career as a crime lord. And we've only seen hints of that at the very end of the Solo movie. So and what I love of the Solo movie is that we really got a chance to really explore the seedier, grimier, scummier side of the Star Wars galaxy. So Maul Shadow Lord totally delivers on this, but at the same time, we also get Force wielders too.
So far, this is actually my main criticism, again, having only seen the first 2 episodes, in that it is banking a lot on good faith of me as a Star Wars fan, obviously. It's coasting on that. Because if I was coming to this objectively, there is no hook in the first 2 episodes. There is no reason for me to want to keep watching it. At this point, I'm watching it out of obligation because cool lightsaber things, that's fun to watch.
Oh, wait
Right?
till episode 7.
And it's visually great. So at the very least, as a fan, sure. But the first episode really didn't do anything for me. And I'm not particularly keen on seeing the rest of it, just actually seeing the first 2. I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, it didn't do anything for me.
Fair.
Again, I can make the same argument for Andor. Andor started off really slow.
Yeah.
Like, I plodded through the first 3 episodes. I'm like, oh my God, what is this? Nothing is happening. It's nothing but backstory. And I put it down. And I didn't come back to Andor until like maybe a year and a half later, when I saw the clip of the monologue about how I burned my life for a sunrise I will never see. And I'm like, that shit goes hard. And that's when I came back and enjoyed Andor. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. You can work off the marketing. And I also believe that series should have time to cook. But this is where I am right now with Maul. I've had my first tastes. And we'll see. Also, Sam Witwer is killing it.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. He's so good at Darth Maul's voice.
Yeah. And I like, from an art perspective though, I like that everything in the background looks like a hurriedly done concept art.
I love the paint textures. It's
Yeah, the
so
textures.
cool.
Yeah. And kasi you can say now, from a technical standpoint, it's cheaper to make, but at the same time, it adds to the grittiness of it.
It adds to the mood.
It adds to the mood, di ba? I mean, the lighting of the CG there, ganda. Parang the moodiest any Dave Filoni show has gone.
It makes the blasters and the lightsabers look like they're on fire.
Yeah.
And that adds to the gravitas of the entire thing.
Yeah, I mean, texture kasi yung blasters eh. Even the lightsaber battles.
Especially once you get to like the lightsaber battles in the later episode. And what's great about this is that they don't skimp on the lightsaber battles here. Like, I was actually surprised that we actually had quite a good amount of lightsaber battles, considering that we've only seen the first 8 episodes, and the events in those first 8 episodes take place in what, 3 days. It's a very
3 days.
it's a very short amount of time you spend in that story.
And I also appreciate, how like the 3D animated series for Star Wars has kind of jumped around with its design language, from the very cartoony style of the Clone Wars to the more Ralph McQuarrie-esque concepts that they used for Rebels.
Yeah.
I appreciate that the lightsabers have weight again. Like, I get the skinny sabers from Rebels were references to the old paintings, but they kind of look kind of lame.
Yeah, well, even episode 1 kasi had thin lightsaber blades. They thickened it.
Or do you mean episode 4?
Sorry? Sorry. No, episode 1. If you take a look at the sabers in episode 1, the blades were thinner. Episode 2, they thickened the blades and added a pointy thing at the end.
So what do you guys prefer more, like the thicker blades or thinner blades?
For visual effect, The thicker ones are obviously more impressive.
How do you like your lightsabers?
I like them round tipped. Kasi parang what's the point of having a pointed light blade?
To stab?
Ultimately, lightsabers are a rule of cool anyway.
Fair. Fair.
I am going to get a lot of hate for this, but lightsabers are shitty weapons. They're just really cool.
Explain yourself.
Why would you use something as a sword when I can point it at you and turn it off and on? Block this.
And they've been able to block it.
Yeah.
Because if you use it as a sword, you can block it. But if I just like flick it on and off as a flashlight,
But isn't that like against the rule?
exactly, like who gives a shit about rules when you're fighting for your life?
Fair.
Fair.
So ultimately, it's a very rule of cool thing. And Star Wars is nothing but rule of cool. Let's not get into the internal logic of like hyperspeed or we'll argue about the Holdo maneuver all over again. Right? So Star Wars has some level of internal logic, but it has never made complete sense. It is cool. Let's leave it at that. And lightsabers are a primary example of that. As weapons, they've come up with their entire justifications, like Marvel Star Wars number 25. Kenobi points out the main reason why he and Qui-Gon believe the Jedi use lightsabers is they're a statement. Jedi use lightsabers to prove that they could be more forceful, more powerful, but they choose not to. They use weapons that require skill, require discipline. They don't use weapons that could destroy planets. They use weapons that are just enough. Because that's what Jedi are. They're peacekeepers, not warriors.
Right.
So, you know, lots of justifications, lots of ways you can explain it. But ultimately, lightsabers don't really make sense as weapons. They're the rule of cool. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with it just being cool.
Okay. Fair. Right. Fair.
Totally fair. Totally fair.
That being said, you know, round tip versus pointed tip on a lightsaber is probably the least of our worries.
That's true. It just bothered me, especially, no, wait, round tip sila episode 2, pointed tip episode 3.
So mas gusto mo na support.
You know, oh man. Gusto ko ng friendly. Friendly! no, but really, parang ano, it really just bothered me come episode 3 when Miss Windu was pointing his
His purple-headed.
his purple-headed lightsaber at Palpatine, and Palpatine was anyway, makita mo matulis yung lightsaber eh. Tapos parang, why?
I guess it's for visual effect, because can you imagine if it's just like this round thing in someone's face? It's just not very threatening from a... Okay, speaking from like an art direction standpoint, like internal logic, yes, the circular one would make sense. But when you're trying to establish to your audience that this is supposed to be a threat, you put an edge to things.
Oh, all right, so yes.
So you're saying it's the angle that Palpatine was looking at Mace Windu's purple-headed.
Yeah, technically, right? Yeah.
So she's black pa, no?
Yeah. So
Anakin, help me!
We would just be so.
Anyway.
No.
Use both hands for that. Anyway.
Oh gosh, from Darth Maul to the gutter.
It's the seedy underbelly of Coruscant. What do you want from us? Anyway.
I guess ganun nga.
Kind of wonder how many levels he fell down. And who picked up the purple-headed lightsaber when they found him.
Oh, you mean Miss Windu?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he flew out the window.
Welcome to the brand new Nerd Rage.
All the old jokes in all new ways.
Yeah. But yan, parang so
Miss Windu.
do you all right, for your do you think na parang does do the first 8 episodes get you excited to see the finale?
Yes. I mean, I have my own relationship with Star Wars, which I've discussed many times in the show before. I obviously don't spend a lot of time looking at the girth of lightsabers like some people on this show, but I spend enough time watching Star Wars in my own way. I will say, with the plotting and the pacing of the show, there's a part of me that kind of can't wait for someone on the internet to compile all the episodes when it's done and do like a 2.5 hour supercut. Because, I mean, the pacing's really fast. In fact, I was expecting the pacing to be really slow at first. I don't know why I came into it with those expectations. But the pacing moves really fast. I like the characters a lot. And, you know, that's always like the thing for me when I go into Star Wars, because for me, any kind of Star Wars thing, I kind of want to have like this feeling of, it's like, yes, we're going to go on an adventure with my friends and we're going to blow shit.
Star Wars has always been faster, more intense.
Actually, yeah. Malinaw si George Lucas na.
Faster, more intense.
Yeah. And, you know, my biggest problem...
It's a George Lucas quote.
Anyway, my issue with a lot of the Star Wars that's come out,
Yes.
with a lot of Star Wars that's come out, is that you don't really see a lot of camaraderie between the characters.
Yes.
Like, that's something I don't really feel that much in Star Wars these days. The Mandalorian, you kind of get that vibe. We also kind of got that vibe. I'd actually say we really got that vibe with Skeleton Crew. Because the story and the characters of Skeleton Crew really compelled that kind of camaraderie between the characters. That camaraderie comes out beautifully for me in the Maul, in Darth Maul Shadow Lord. Even more so as you get deeper into the story and you start seeing both bad guys and good guys, depending on how you look at it, interact with each other and get faced into dilemmas together and have to deal with problems together. For me, the fact that you kind of want to see them come out together in one way or another, regardless if they end up as friends or if they end up as enemies, it really hooks me into want to watch until the end. And I think that's probably what's really making Shadow Lord the most for me.
Actually, yung general feeling ko after I finished episode 8 of season 1, because apparently it's now contracted to have a season 2. Yung general feeling ko or thought ko about Darth Maul himself as a character was that, again, sure, he's being badass here and all that, but the great tragedy of Darth Maul is that he's so limited in his perspective that he never really sees the greater picture. He thinks he sees the greater picture, parang, I'll have my apprentice and all that. But ultimately, he's still just running a criminal, or he's aiming to run a criminal organization. He thinks it's his stepping stone to conquer the galaxy and to take revenge on Palpatine. Pero hindi, a criminal organization, as we know from the greater scheme of things in the Star Wars universe, is just a small thing. So the tragedy of Darth Maul is that he will be a small-time guy up until the very end.
Big fish, small pond, basically.
Yeah, big fish, small pond. I mean, you know, you pick your battles, you pick your ponds, I suppose. But because even in the end, in Star Wars Rebels, when he meets his ultimate end, final end.
For now.
But he dies still not seeing the greater picture. He's just after revenge, and Obi-Wan's like, ugh.
Obi-Wan just gives it to him, actually, right?
Yeah. And when Obi-Wan's carrying Maul here, but obviously Obi-Wan's like, nako, you still don't get it.
You know, just the way you just described Darth Maul, it's very true also. It just made me realize he comes across as like one of those bros who kind of peaked at high school and never got out of it.
Though you can argue lore-wise that makes sense. Darth Maul was socially stunted.
It's true
Right?
That's true.
That's his entire life, literally his entire life.
And that's his baggage, as will be shown in
one of the episodes, which I actually did like. Again, because of embargo and all that other stuff, we can't really go that deep into it. But there is a moment where you do see flashes of Darth Maul's past, and even some humanity there also as well, which I wasn't expecting, to be honest, because I always had this like image of Darth Maul just being constantly ruthless. But it did have a moment where it softened Maul.
I guess ultimately, like, again, I haven't seen the rest of the episodes yet, but my only real criticism of the MAUL series of what I've seen so far is maybe I'm just old school to my series, like my shows, my comics, whatever. But I always believe the first episode, the first issue, should always give you a reason to want to keep watching or want to keep reading. And MAUL episode 1 didn't do that for me. Like, it was cool as fuck, like, visually amazing. And seeing MAUL come out to his music, cinema. Right? From a fanboy standpoint, that was fucking cool. But plot-wise, like, tapos.
Fair.
So yeah, I just wish they'd give it a little more thought to episode 1 of the series, or even episode 2 maybe, giving me more reason to want to watch the rest of it. But just objectively speaking, it's not giving me anything.
Fair. You know what just occurred to me? Darth Maul is a jilted ex.
Yes.
Hindi siya ni Palpatine for the hotter thing. Hindi rin natandaan na ni ikaw Dooku eh.
Anakin was always the intended rebound chick naman eh.
So Dooku was just the
He was there. It was
Oh,
a good
yeah.
thing. The in between.
Dooku was the convenience.
the rich old fling.
Yeah.
Dooku, yeah, especially because Dooku was Jedi Council, right? Dooku was the sugar daddy.
Yeah, actually. With a nice car.
Yes.
With a nice car.
Palpatine had a brief fling, but he was always after Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, man,
who
on
he's
that
known
note-
since he was 8 years old.
It's like the Nerd Rage group chat has had to put up with me raving about the novelizations of Star Wars at this point. But if you haven't read the Revenge of the Sith novelization, it had so much characterization, like how there were expectations. There was an extra plan for Dooku in regards to, apparently in the novel, the plan was he expected that he would be arrested, the war would end, and he would ride the rest of this out with like diplomacy, and he would have new place in Palpatine's world order. So when Palpatine gave the order, he was like, hold up.
I will admit there were times in which you would share with us screenshots from those novelizations, and not gonna lie, it read like fanfic.
It did. But partly because, yeah, it's characterization that we normally don't get on screen. You know, it's a lot of internal things that, you know, fanfic writer typically would fill in.
And all the things we like right now started off technically as fanfic. So
Right.
Yeah.
And some things should stay fan fiction. Oh, great Jedi.
are those still a thing?
Oh, man.
Unofficially, parang Ahsoka was never called a great Jedi ever, diba? She was never called that.
Okay,
But-
so my problem there is the perception of what a great Jedi is. As per the lore, you know, stories, the concept of great Jedi are simply Jedi who don't obey the dogma. And that's fair, right? Because Jedi have a strict code, strict laws that they have to abide by. And anyone who doesn't follow is considered a great Jedi. You know, they're still essentially good guys. But then you have these neckbeards who are like, oh, I'm a great Jedi. I can use both the light and the dark side. That's what balance means. That's not how the Force works, guys.
Yeah. Because the existence of the dark side is causing imbalance.
Yes. The whole point of balance of the Force means the light side. It's just really bad phrasing, actually.
I don't agree with that, but you guys know more about the lore than I do, so I will concede.
Well, there's a lot of debate about what really constitutes balance in the Star Wars universe. But
Because, I mean, couldn't it be argued that the reason why the Star Wars universe is basically shit by the time we get to it and we're introduced to it for the first time in A New Hope is because the Jedis basically had their way for so long, and now you needed a bit of the Sith to kind of balance things out?
Not necessarily, because you can argue that the corruption was a slow, ongoing process where it was getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
So even when the Jedi believed the light side was predominant, it was already actually the dark side already in action. The Jedi's sin was one of complacency.
Okay, that I could get. But I don't know, just, I can agree with the whole gray Jedi thing, because if I'd have to think of myself as a Force wielder, I don't think I could just stick purely just to the Jedi stuff. I think I would align with it, but I probably would. I'd be like those lesbian space witches in The Acolyte.
So here's the problem. Well,
That's where I would be.
yeah, here's the issue. Like, well, sure. If you're talking about it strictly from a power standpoint, from a philosophical standpoint, ultimately no real problem with dabbling with the dark side of the Force, so to speak, because it's manipulating things that simply you might think people are just uncomfortable with. But it's established fact that dabbling the dark side, whether it's philosophically right or not, is a corrupting practice. Like, you push on the Force, it will push back on you. That's why it's called dark side. So while you might be morally a sound person, you touch the dark side, it will twist you. There's no questions about it. There's nuance to this shit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we can't apply our real life rules to the rules of a fictional universe. They have their own rules, they have their own
fair.
their galaxy has their own rules.
Although, well, wouldn't that mean that even the Jedi dabble and manipulate the Force for wrong when they do things like Force pushes or like lifting shit up? Wouldn't that be seen as a violation against the living Force?
That's actually why they're supposed to, be in tune with everything. It's a physical manipulation, yes, but that's as opposed to like twisting life entirely, which the Sith are prone to do.
Okay.
That's why the Jedi teach detachment, much to the detriment of certain members of the Jedi Council.
Who can't keep into their pants.
Right. And no, you can argue that the Jedi engaging or being part of the Jedi being part of the Clone Wars. Yes, they actually teetered more towards the dark side by that time.
The Jedi lost the instant they joined the Clone Wars.
Yes. They should not have joined.
Yes, the instant they allowed themselves to be drawn to the Clone Wars, they'd already lost.
Yeah.
But that was the beauty of Palpatine's plan.
Yeah.
It was a catch-22 for the Jedi.
Like total absolute corruption.
Yes.
It's why I'm starting to like Palpatine more and more as I get older.
I love Sanato's Gambit characters. Those are the best kinds of characters. You think you're doing a play by like, haha, that was part of my plot all along. Yeah, are you familiar with the trope Sanatos from Gargoyles? Disney's Gargoyles?
Please enlighten our
Basically he's the... For those of you old enough to remember TV tropes, though TV tropes is still around, the trope name is the Sanatos Gambit, named for Sanatos, the villain of Gargoyles, where, everything was already part of his plan. You think you're doing something, but at the end of it, no, that was plan C. That was plan D.
Palpatine's really good at
Yes,
that.
Palpatine is like a good example of the Sanatos Gambit.
But even with the apprentices, he has a plan C.
Yeah.
So technically, Maul as a crime lord, he's still technically a dark sider.
Yes.
Based on how we define the dark side. So he never really left the dark side. He was just dumped by Palpatine.
He was pushed aside by Daddy.
Yeah.
The argument simply is that, is he still Sith? Because you can argue that Sith is a philosophy, and the lore the lore promotes that as well. The thing is, the Sith have a very certain dogma as well, not unlike the Jedi.
Yeah.
So while he's a Sith practitioner, he is not part of their canon. He's not an ordained Sith anymore.
Fair.
He's a new Sith.
Yes. Protestant Sith, if you will.
I insist. Oh!
Can we say that?
So all right. So let's jump straight to our ratings for Maul Shadow Lord so far.
Okay, how are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do this by horns or by double-headed lightsabers?
Tempting to say horns, but sige, double-bladed lightsabers.
Okay, I give Maul Shadow Lord 4 heads on a lightsaber.
Wow. All right.
4 out of 5.
I give it 2 out of 8 episodes because Adrian fell asleep when he was supposed to give me the access code.
Sorry na. I'll give it 4 out of 5 also. 4 out of 5 double-bladed lightsabers.
Double-headed.
The double-bladed 4 times 2, 8. So maybe 4.5. Para 9. Pero kapout yan. Sige, I mean 4 out of 5 na lang. Because we haven't seen the last 2 episodes.
I haven't seen the rest of the episodes.
Yes. Sorry na. So this is the time when we share with you our little chat with
Mommy?
actually Tita. Our little chat with Tita Morgan Elsbeth.
She's Tita to you guys, she's Mommy to me.
DIANA LEE INOSANTO, who was here last December, and we were fortunate enough to spend time with her, to talk to her about, what brought her here and all that. And we hung out with her a bit because we had, I'm part of the Rebel Legion, and we had an activity at the Philippine Orthopedic Center in Quezon City, and that was a fun thing. And afterwards, Diana brought us to the shooting of.
Oh yeah, that's not an embargo anymore, is it?
Oh, no more embargoes. They announced it right after. Yeah, so she brought us to the set of the film that she was doing with Alden Richards. Bango ni Alden talaga.
That's his entire takeaway from that evening.
That was my takeaway. Not even Diana Lee Inosanto. Bango talaga ni Alden Richards. Anyway, so here's our short chat with Diana Lee Inosanto right now.
Hi, mommy.
And we are joined here by our Tita Morgan Elsbeth herself, Diana Lee Inosanto.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
All right, so last time we had this kind of chat was 4 years ago.
Previously on Nerd Rage.
Lighting okay? Is it too much? You want me to take it down? I have a ring light, but I never know, or is the lighting okay?
Yours is perfect. Yours is right.
Okay.
And it's just the right amount of flattening and diffusing and glow, that sort of thing. So
I try.
let's hope I do this right, because I'm talking to an actual Star Wars actor and FMA royalty.
Oh, aren't you kind? Thank you. That's sweet. That's very, very kind.
Let's do this.
Yeah, so how have you been since then?
Oh my goodness, crazy! Went from Mandalorian, and then the episode that aired, the Jedi episode, would greenlight and pave the way for Ahsoka as a spin-off show. And then from there, I ended up doing the animation Tales of the Empire, where they dedicated half the season to Morgan Elsbeth's character. It's just wild and crazy, and it's amazing. I'm seeing all kinds of toys and gaming cards, and I mean, you name it. I got Marvel has done a thing on Ahsoka. It's just amazing journey, and I'm so grateful that I have this privilege and this honor, with Lucasfilm. So, yeah, it's wonderful.
So for those either listening or watching, we are here in the Philippines. We're still here, which means you are here in Manila right now.
I am here.
Surprise! Surprise!
I am here in Manila, yes, visiting my ancestral homeland. So I'm so happy. And there are moments like as of today, because we had to do a charity, I just wanted to cry because, especially because Quezon City, my grandfather used to live here. And it just made me feel like if he was alive today, he would be absolutely thrilled that I'm here. And it's kind of surreal in a way. I felt like the moment I got off the airplane, it was like walking into a big family reunion for me. I'm like, everybody looks like my uncles, my aunts, my cousins. It's so wild.
So what brings you here?
It was actually by chance because I needed to be with my husband. Our anniversary, our wedding anniversary is December 6th, and it just so happened he was hired to work on a movie out here in the Philippines. And I thought, you know what, this is a great opportunity because we've been away from each other for months because I've been making appearances at different Comic Cons, and I just wanted the joy of being able to, celebrate our wedding anniversary. But I had no idea that it would lead me to meet all these amazing people in the film community here in the Philippines. I've been meeting a couple of your celebrities here, and they've been so gracious. Do you want to say?
Am I allowed to say?
Yes.
Well, people know this.
Oh, okay.
I get it. Yeah. Alden's signature.
Is that, so if I go to Alden, okay.
You have to wave like that and show a bit of dimple and go.
Oh my God. And I met the beautiful Max Cullen, actually. So she's amazing. Yeah, and he's actually quite athletic. He's a good martial artist, right? My husband's been training him quite a bit. So yeah, there's another side. There's almost like a Tom Cruise side to him that's coming, I believe. I believe.
So ladies and guys as well, watch out for that. Wait, what's the title of the film?
It is Big Tiger, but that could be a working title. I don't know. So, but it's an international cast, and it's got some great people from Byron Mann to Luke Goss to Kat McNamara from Shadowhunters. So it's gonna be good.
Wow.
Shadowhunters is fun.
Yeah, Shadowhunters is great. And Catherine used to train with us back in the States.
That's interesting. Is that
Is that why everyone does like Sinawali all the time going down?
Yeah, they come in contact with the Inosanto Balikisa. Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually Filipino martial arts you can see it in a lot of different movies. And a lot of people don't realize they're looking at Filipino martial arts, from Born Identity to Mission Impossible to
Eli.
John Wick, Book of Eli, right? Because my dad was training Denzel Washington and Star Wars now.
That one is like special to us as well because one of the fight saber guys, Elric, was one of the stunt guys on episode 2, and he was telling us about how he snuck in some Kali in there, snuck in some of the weapon influences of the other Filipino martial artists.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's Filipino martial arts. It's alive. The art is just incredible, and it's flexible. And I've used it all my life in Hollywood. If I have to give it a different kind of flavor, I can. But the lines are pretty much the same. The approach, everything. So I'm so proud of my Filipino roots and how it has been there to serve me in my Hollywood career. I'm very lucky.
I know I nerded out when I saw you on The Mandalorian.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was like,
yeah, I just never thought I would be fighting a lightsaber with a Beskar spear.
now that you're officially in Star Wars, how does it make you feel knowing there are people out there dressed like your character now, dressing up as you?
It's so surreal. Even when I'm shopping and I look on a shelf and I see like of a toy, several toys, 2 Funko Pops and
an action figure like what ADRIAN?
Yeah, the Black Series, the Kenners, 2 Kenners. It's the Lego sets. I just go, what? I know people who play the game. They have the gaming cards and the Topps cards, and I'll see different iterations of Morgan Elsbeth. It's wild, and it's really just an honor. I can't believe it sometimes.
For those who might have an idea but have been living under a rock, you are part Filipino.
I am.
Yes.
Dad is Filipino. Yes. And my mother is Irish American. And what people don't know is my dad back in the 1960s met my mother, and in a time that was really hard for mixed marriages. But my dad loved my mom, married her, and had me and my brother. And it's been for an interesting family gatherings. Myra was telling actually a couple of your friends in the Rebel Legion that my grandfather used to teach my mother Filipino cooking because she loved it. And that's the beauty of people from different parts of the world or cultures from different parts of the world, and yet my parents at the time found each other.
Let's pretend we didn't talk about this in the car. So the Inosantos come from...
Oh, the family.
Yeah.
Okay, so the family is from the island of Panay. When we have roots in Labacao and Calibo, but we are also Ilonggo.
Okay.
So, and then later on, my grandfather came here as a young man to Quezon City, and then later found himself being asked to be a pensionado, because at that time the Philippines was under the Commonwealth of the United States, and he came out to Stockton, California, which has a huge Filipino community. If you look at Black Eyed Peas, they did a whole music video, and they were about. They were capturing that whole Stockton, California spirit of the Filipinos first coming in. That was the wave. And then the other parts where the Filipinos would come, the migration pattern was Kauai in the Hawaiian part of the Hawaiian Islands, which is where my grandmother's side of the family came through.
So how has it been like navigating through Hollywood? Because now it's like people know you now. Finally, for all your talent and skills. I mean, she could kick my ass.
Oh.
Well, both of these guys could kick my ass. But
arthritis.
Yeah. So how is it like for you now, being a person of color in Hollywood and working through things, and now you're here?
It's amazing how things have changed. I mean, for Lucasfilm to be confident in me and my skills and my ability, and and to allow me to be a part of their universe, because I know this is a role that could have easily gone to anybody, including any huge celebrity, and they didn't. They trusted me to carry this character, and I'm so grateful. And I do feel that Hollywood has come a long ways. I mean, look, I think about my godfather, how he's influenced all these action franchises, and that's growth. And that's the amazing thing of when time goes by, that, these things can grow and blossom into something very special. And now you see, I love it. You see people like in Europe doing Filipino martial arts, or, other forms of martial arts, from Chinese to martial arts, Japanese martial arts, Korean. I mean, that's the beautiful thing, when we can empty our cup and absorb what is useful and build these bridges together.
Me being a guy who doesn't know a lot about martial arts, and both of you are into the thing. What's one thing that people should know about the kind of martial arts that your family has taught?
Well, that's interesting. Okay, so as a little boy, my father grew up seeing Filipino martial artists, because many of them, to survive in America, had to become farmers. Even if they were educated, they couldn't necessarily find jobs in that time period of the 30s, the 40s. It was after World War II things got better, but my dad would always talk about, and I'm writing a book, by the way. Oh, thank you. Yes. And he would talk about, like, sometimes in, as he was working the farms, he could see these Filipino martial artists just playing around in the asparagus fields with their tools. And he would hear about how they would train sometimes in the barns at nighttime under the moon, and on the moonlight. And he learned later on that we had my great-grandfather and other family members that were part of, I guess, the constabulary, and they worked, some that served during World War II. Then there were other Filipino martial artists as well that lived in the community, so he would watch them and inevitably learn. And then when my father grew up, he became a military man. He was an army man, a paratrooper, part of the 101st. And he learned Okinawan martial arts from Japan. And so he started realizing, I want to learn more. It was just something that he gravitated toward. And before you knew it, he was with Ed Parker, who's known for training Elvis Presley. And he would train under Ed Parker. And Ed is very important to martial arts history, because he's the one that would start, like, the tournament circuits on a whole other level. And that's where he laid the groundwork for my godfather to be discovered at the Long Beach Championships. And that's where my dad and Uncle Bruce met. And then Uncle Bruce had such an amazing, powerful insight and philosophy that in the way we grow is by sharing knowledge. And so he had a whole circle of friends from different countries, different walks of martial arts, whether it was Korean or Japanese or Chinese or Filipino. And that really influenced my dad, even after my godfather died in '73, that he would carry on the art and philosophy at Geek, which really is just a way of saying, absorb what is useful, open yourself to whatever arts that are needed to accommodate you as the human, as a human being that you might need out there. And it's a philosophy that you can apply to music, to any walk of life. And so that's what we do. That's the art and philosophy at Geek. But we definitely have a foot in Thai. I've trained in everything from Muay Thai, French Savate, Filipino martial arts, Chinese martial arts, Indonesian martial arts. I've done, in my younger years when I was a stunt woman, I trained in capoeira, from Brazilian capoeira. So, and it's served me well. And in a time when, in earlier decades, it would have been a no-no to cross-train.
Oh, yeah. Like, even up to now, actually, some of the older guys, they throw tantrums because they're very strict about being pure.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Even like in Chinese martial arts, if you were a Wing Chun person and you decide to train in more of a traditional form of Kung Fu, they're like, well, what do you mean? You're going to study Tai Chi. What do you mean?
Even if it's within the same system, they're training with another group.
Right.
No, don't train with those guys. They're no good. Don't do that.
It's true. It's so weird. It is weird. But now it's different. I mean, that's why we have, sports venues now like UFC, It's a good thing. It's always good.
There's this particular phenomenon that I'm enjoying within Filipino martial arts in particular, how FMA Kali grew differently across the water. You know, it became its own thing. And now it's coming back and coming home. And we're seeing how much has changed.
Isn't that
What's the same.
amazing? Right.
It's like, okay, that works. Let's see.
Right. No, it's true because what happened, particularly during the time when the Philippines was a Commonwealth, you had a lot of Filipino martial artists coming to America, right? And they didn't necessarily come back, and so they were spreading their own teachings. And you know, the Philippines is how many 7,000 to 8,000 islands, right?
Yeah.
And you have all these different groups, right, with their own philosophy of martial arts and. So there's just a whole wealth of information and knowledge to be explored.
This is one of the most fun things I have when explaining Filipino martial arts to a lot of people who don't know what the Philippines is like. Because people are like, that's not Arnis, that's not Kali, that's not Arnis or Kali. It's like, look, in the Philippines, we don't even have one language.
Yeah.
It's easier to
Right.
consider it as an umbrella term.
Well, I'm thinking even like when the early American servicemen were here in the Philippines, the form of boxing they used to do was holding this position, right?
Yeah,
But because they used to see the Filipinos get in fights, and some of it was done from knife. They started going from this and evolving to this. And you can trace that all the way back to the servicemen that were here in the Philippines. And
Our fault.
yes.
A lot of things are our fault. Look at the 45, why the Philippines are.
Is there anything you'd like to say to our Pinoy martial arts fans and Star Wars fans?
There's so much to share. But being here in the Philippines, listen, the one thing that I'm really very encouraged by is the idea of shooting a movie here that I can direct. And I'm very encouraged by what I've seen with the talent base here. And I hope that other productions will also consider the Philippines because the Philippines has a lot to offer. They really do.
This means we should get her back on the show again and interview her again.
Oh yes, we'll make that happen.
No matter what our walk in life is to be a force for good. And that's what you guys are doing. I love that. You guys are amazing. By the way, I love this. When I came to the Philippines, everybody does this. They do this.
Well, when we sing the
It's
national
so beautiful.
anthem, we have to do
But even greeting, I'm like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. You know,
Yeah.
so beautiful. So anyway.
Well, thank you very much, Diana. Thank you
Thank-
for gracing the Philippines.
Thank you. Salamat po.
Maraming salamat po.
Sure you both.
And
Thank you.
hopefully you can come back.
Yes, directing and yes. And maybe acting with some of your stars here.
Convince Adrian to ask you to teach him some things so that we can laugh at him.
Later on.
Try to see if you can get him to do some huwin or something and make him stumble over.
I want to get you guys to help me to learn how to cook some pancets.
Oh, okay.
That's easy.
And some adobo.
That's a deal.
All right, everybody.
Okay, so that was our interview with DIANA LEE INOSANTO. That was fun.
It was.
And then she's actually nicer to be around.
Yeah, she's really chill. She enjoyed the pancit.
The pancit and well, we never gave her balut. She doesn't like balut. But yeah, she enjoyed the pancit and all that food. Grabe. Talaga no. But we gave her a holding room and she didn't stay there. Nakikain siya sa
She
atin
just hung around with us, really chill.
Yeah, that was fun. And that happened last December. Tagal na rin pala, no? But really fun.
Yeah.
And I was her driver the entire day.
I'm sure that was fun for you.
Well, saya kasi we were just chatting the entire time. Eh. I guess it's nice to, be the chauffeur for any celebrity. Well, not just any celebrity, a celebrity that you like talking to. Because this wasn't my first time talking with her since I interviewed her a few years ago for Rebelthon.
It's not about hanging out with celebrities, hang out with a great person.
Yeah. Love her. Diana,
So great.
you're so awesome. Thank you so much. So that's it for our podcast episode today. That's it. And we promise to be back next week.
Yeah.
Same nerd time, same nerd channel.
Are we still say channel? Are we still on the channel?
Oh, YouTube channel.
Technically, we're on a channel now, so probably the same nerd time. Definitely the same nerd channel.
Yeah, so check us out on YouTube. Well, obviously you're watching us from YouTube, but check us out on YouTube at NerdRagePH, Facebook at NerdRagePH, Instagram at NerdRagePH, and we're also on Spotify.
Oh, we're on Spotify now.
Yes, we are on Spotify. Spotify. Spotify.
Spotify.
Yes, we are on Spotify also. So if you don't want to see our faces, you can always listen to us.
You suck though if you don't want to see our faces. We are very cute. Isn't that right, Palpy?
Okay. All right. So that's it.
Yeah. How do we outro this? It has been a while, guys.
You just
You just watched Nerd Rage.
Or listened, as the case may be,
You just watched, listened,
and put up with nerd.
and put up with Nerd Rage. I'm Veronica, now a Shiv X-ray shipper.
I'm Khan, Holdo maneuver apologist.
and I'm Adrian, and I still have to put up with these guys. And you just watched or listened to
Nerd Rage.
But seriously, the Holdo maneuver was so cool.
It was really cool, actually. I don't know why people were mad about it. They were mad about it was because it was a woman.